When Dave Grusch testified to Congress, he testified in both chambers, and they're both intelligence committees, the House and the Senate. When he testified before the House, there were a bunch of people present. In the Senate, the senators were locked out. That's right, so let's talk about it. Get in here, this is Jack with Cosmic Road. I talk about UFOs and the paranormal. Please hit like, please subscribe, share on social media, and let me know what you think in the comments below. Okay, so I've talked numerous times about some of the shady stuff going on in the Senate. You know, Tim Burchett said months ago, I think it's been months, that members of Congress on both sides of the aisle had been compromised on the UFO issue. And we have been seeing some signs of this recently when Kirsten Gillibrand and Senator Ernst grilled the lovely Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick in a Senate hearing. And they didn't ask him any tough questions. They didn't push back on him at all when he said such nonsense as there's no signs of ETs, basically, or craft that can defy the known laws of physics. And when the David Grusch story broke and Senator Kirsten Gillibrand was asked about it, she gave very vague answers. You know, oh, we need to look into that. You know, we need to have a hearing. We need to have a hearing. If there's special access programs doing this sort of thing, we need to have a hearing about it. Well, we saw what happened in the last hearing, so I'm not super excited about any future hearings involving Kirsten Gillibrand or Senator Ernst. And, you know, again, those are politicians from both sides of the aisle, just as Tim Burchett said. Marco Rubio was initially very vocal about the whole UFO, U.A.P. thing, and was a co-creator of Arrow. So, where is he in all of this? I haven't heard him speaking up about David Grusch. He has been radio silent on the whole thing, and by his silence seems to be signaling that he is in line with Kirsten Gillibrand. And that is very disheartening that the two most vocal members of the Senate that were involved in the creation of Arrow and being pro-UFO disclosure have suddenly become less inclined toward disclosure and more inclined toward secrecy. And now we have gotten some new evidence of this weird behavior, or I say weird, but I guess it is par for the course. The government has been keeping this stuff secret low these many years, and they are still doing that. There is some signs that the people in the House of Representatives may not. So, you know, that's encouraging. But on a recent episode of his podcast, Matt Ford had some really interesting details to bring forth. So let's hear what Matt has to say.
The ICIG found the complaint, quote, urgent and credible. The complaint was sent to the House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence and the Senate Select Committee on Intelligence in July of 2022. That's right, almost a year ago. So the real question is, what did Congress know and when? Now, most people are unaware that David Grusch testified in a SCIF, in a classified setting with both intelligence committees. What we are about to tell you is not public knowledge. Multiple sources confirmed that David Grusch's congressional testimony occurred in December 2022 at the top secret, sensitive, compartmented information level. On the House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence, while no congressman attended the briefing, over 20 congressional staffers, committee lawyers, Grusch, and the Inspector General representative were present. With their classified laptops, these staffers took notes while David Grusch testified for 4 hours. 4 hours, think about that. Now, things were different at the Senate Select Committee on Intelligence, and this is important. Grusch testified for over 8 hours. Who was in the room for Grusch's 8-hour testimony in December? Grusch, the Inspector General representative, a court reporter, and 2 committee lawyers. That's it, 5 people. Where were the Senate staffers? they were not permitted to attend. Think about it. On the House side, you had over 20 people in a skiff, and on the Senate side, 5. The 2 committee attorneys locked the room down so Senate staffers could not attend. That is some seriously shady gatekeeping going on. What the hell? I mean, seriously.
He goes on to say that maybe the senators weren't, coming to that meeting so they could have plausible deniability, but he didn't seem real convinced by that idea. I'm certainly not convinced by that idea. I don't know what the reasoning is behind that, why there were so few people involved in that. In the Senate testimony of David Grusch, perhaps it's because the fewer people that knew about it, the less word would get out among the Senate, and they did not want word to get out because they are not pro-disclosure in any sense of the word. On the other hand, there were over 20 people present in the David Grusch, interview with the House. So that's really encouraging. That means at least somebody in Congress, some people in Congress, are on this and are actually trying to push this forward. And that is extremely encouraging. And it's very interesting that right now we seem to have this civil war within Congress on UFOs. We have the 2 branches divided against each other. Will that lead to some, will they speak out against each other? I mean, Tim Burchett has already said members of Congress are compromised, but he didn't specifically say members of the Senate were compromised. Could it go that far? Will it go that far? Will there be open animosity between the chambers of Congress over UFOs? Is that something that could happen? I can see that possibly happening in the near future. It's a really weird situation to be in, but that seems to be where we're at. So why is Kirsten Gillibrand and Marco Rubio so blasé about all this? Why are they not trying to push this forward like they were initially? Have they been read into their program and been told some secrets, but in return they have to be silent? Is that what's going on? Have they been pressured? Have they been bribed? I don't know. Senator Ernst could also be among those people. I didn't get that impression in the hearing with Kirkpatrick. She seemed like she just wasn't interested in UFOs and wanted to pin it all on drones, Russian or Chinese drones. So, those are, people that can't handle the truth and that simply want to bury their head in the sand and pretend that none of this exists and it's all, foreign adversary technology. So that's my take on Senator Ernst. However, it is possible that that was just a ploy and that she is actually part of the cover-up as well. The good news is that the House is going forward with their own UFO and U.A.P. hearing, and hopefully David Grusch will testify in that. Tim Burchett said recently that he was trying to get Dave to testify and that he was hopeful that would happen. So hopefully that will happen. And I was afraid that wasn't going to happen until September, but it looks like that might happen actually quite soon. Some people are even saying later this month, although I'm a little skeptical on that because, it's middle of the month now. But, fingers crossed, maybe. At any rate, I think that hearing will happen sooner than later, so that's something to look forward to. And it will be really interesting if the House emerges as a hero of disclosure, whereas the Senate emerges as an instrument of the cover-up. That would be a fascinating scenario that very well could happen in the near future. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and if you've enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up. I sure would appreciate it. Smash the subscribe button, smash the like button, join me on social media. There's Facebook and Twitter links below. If you want to support the channel, that would be super awesome. Send me a PayPal or buy one of my books. I'm a science fiction and fantasy writer. Link is in the description. There's plenty of other videos for you to check out on the channel. And until next time, this is Jack with Cosmic Road, signing out.